Is honour still a thing in modern times? It's certainly a hot topic in this 16th century play we're still marvelling at. Characters are willing to die, kill, and sacrifice others for the sake of honour. But is it something we can still aspire to without all the bloodshed? Generally speaking, to have honour means to be respected for your good qualities. You can judge well between right and wrong, keep your promises, and you've done things that you can be proud of. If someone is dishonourable, then they've either lost these qualities or they didn't have them to begin with. In that case, they might like to work on redeeming themselves. Or not. Hey, Falstaff. In King Henry IV Part 1, much is made of chivalric honour because the play deals with medieval royalty, nobility, and the circumstances of civil war. You'll remember from our lesson on context that chivalry was a medieval code of conduct that governed European knights and noblemen. The thing is, even back in Elizabethan times, chivalry was more of a romantic ideal rather than a practical reality. The question of what makes a truly honourable person, whether they're high-born or not, has always been up for philosophical debate. Hey team, just a reminder, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It really helps the channel out, and our next upload could be on something taught in your next class. Thanks, and back to the video. Shakespeare explores competing perspectives on honour in the play and challenges us to consider its true meaning. In this lesson, we'll explore three perspectives: honour as the ultimate human ideal, honour as an overrated, obsolete lie, and honour as something you can choose to earn. You be the judge. The play opens with King Henry and his council discussing recent civil conflicts. They praise the gallant Hotspur, young Harry Percy, who has proven himself in battle yet again. King Henry describes Hotspur as the theme of honour's tongue, amongst a grove the very straightest plant, a metaphor that carries high praise. Remember, a metaphor is when one thing is described as something else, even though it isn't literally true. Here, Hotspur is described as though he's the straightest sapling in a wood of crooked trees. Hotspur is the most dashing man of the age, a bit of a celebrity, in fact, and by looking on the praise of him, King Henry sees riot and dishonour stain the brow of my young Harry. Of course, King Henry is referring to his son, Prince Hal, who's a renowned madcap or wild party boy. Shakespeare's juxtaposition of the two Harrys in Act 1 highlights how very differently the king perceives them. Remember, juxtaposition is when two things are placed side by side to create an interesting contrast. As far as King Henry is concerned, Hotspur is the embodiment of honour, while Hal is just a royal pain in the neck. For Hotspur, honour is something that can be taken by force. If he could, he'd dive into the bottom of the deep and pluck up drowned honour by the locks, so he that doth redeem her thence might wear all her dignities. The personification of honour as a drowned damsel reveals Hotspur's extreme mindset. Remember, personification is when a composer gives human qualities to something that isn't human. Hotspur is no chivalrous lifesaver. He plans to drag drowned honour up by the hair so he can take all her glory for himself. So, does Hotspur really deserve his pedestal? As his sobriquet, or descriptive nickname, suggests, Hotspur can get very hot under the collar. He has a reputation for being a harebrained Hotspur governed by a spleen, which means he's ruled by his emotions. Once he's worked up, Hotspur gets drunk with choler or intoxicated by anger. This alcoholic metaphor undermines the image of this all-praise knight, portraying Hotspur as prone to nasty temper tantrums, not exactly honourable behaviour. Hotspur is only interested in a life where we have bloody noses and cracked crowns. This visual imagery helps us imagine a mental picture of Hotspur's ideal world. It's a violent place where valiant knights wage war for honour and glory. Thus, Shakespeare characterises or depicts Hotspur as a young man consumed by his quixotic or idealistic pursuit of honour through battle. It's his hamartia, or fatal flaw, which leads to his downfall. But what if honour is a lie, or a badge that can simply be bought and sold? Falstaff certainly sees it that way. Through this lovable rogue, Shakespeare offers a delightful contrast or strong difference to Hotspur's dogged devotion to honour. In a duologue, or private conversation with Prince Hal in Act 1, Falstaff wonders where a commodity of good names were to be bought. Why fight for honour if you can buy it? Can Falstaff scam his way to high esteem? Falstaff is a disgraced nobleman and wallows in dishonour like a pig in mud. But he's all personality. In fact, he's the Silenus of the English Renaissance, a period in English history during which art and culture had a major growth spurt. It was also a time when classical Greek and Roman texts had a revival. In crafting the character of Falstaff, Shakespeare artfully alludes or refers to Silenus, the riotous companion of Dionysus, the Greek god of wine and festivity. Like Silenus, Falstaff is all about merriment. His ideal world is an endless pageant of pleasure. But, given the right circumstances, Falstaff can also be a radically pessimistic philosopher, another trait he shares with Silenus. Falstaff's cynical catechism on honour in Act 5 is legendary. Having been given a charge of foot by Prince Hal, Falstaff must fight in the King's army at the Battle of Shrewsbury. Faced with the grim reality of armed combat, Falstaff reflects on the value of dying for honour in a soliloquy. Remember, a soliloquy is a speech made by a character in which they share their private thoughts with the audience. Falstaff utters a series of questions and answers about honour in the style of a religious catechism. Since honour seems to inspire religious zeal in his peers, Falstaff interrogates this lofty ideal. Can honour set to a leg? No. Or an arm? No. What is honour? A word. Who hath it? He that died a Wednesday. Doth he feel it? No. Therefore I'll none of it. Honour is a mere scutcheon. Shakespeare emphasises Falstaff's rejection of honour with the metaphor of the scutcheon. It means that honour is nothing more than an ornamental emblem, displayed for vanity's sake. Honour can't heal wounds or bring you comfort in the grave. Therefore, according to Falstaff, he refuses to die for it. But what if there's a middle ground? Can honour be rescued from Hotspur's belligerent idealism and Falstaff's contempt? In the character of Prince Hal, Shakespeare harmonises competing perspectives on honour. Hal's dynamic character arc, or transformative inner journey, sees him go from riot and dishonour in Act 1 to rise from the ground like feathered Mercury in Act 4. This simile describes Prince Hal as being like Mercury, the fleet-footed Roman god. Once he's dressed in his armour and displaying his horsemanship, Hal turns heads, even among the rebels. So, how does he do it? In Act 1, Hal makes a solemn but discreet vow to redeem his honour and reboot his image. There's no blustering, wasp-stung impatience like Hotspur, only a quiet determination to prove everyone wrong. He embodies Falstaff's aphorism, or short, self-evident statement that the better part of valour is discretion. Except in Hal's case, his discretion and cautious strategy aren't part of a con. Shakespeare reveals Hal's plans in his soliloquy in Act 1, when this loose behaviour I throw off, by so much shall I falsify men's hopes, and like bright metal on a sullen ground, my reformation glittering o'er my fault. In other words, he's going to shock everyone by casting aside his bad behaviour and daring to shine. His transformation will be so glittering that everyone will forget his past wrongs. But it's not an overnight thing. Hal works up to his reformation. In Act 2, he's careful to maintain his honour with all the good lads in Eastcheap by dyeing scarlet or drinking heavily with them. Hal's willingness to humble himself demonstrates his approach to honour based in realpolitik. In other words, he follows a diplomatic strategy based in practical reality, rather than lofty ideals. Then again, Hal is also aware of King Henry's admiration for Hotspur's swashbuckling gallantry. So, Hal aspires to unlock that brand of honour as well. In a tense duologue with his father in Act 3, Hal reaffirms the vow he made in Act 1. After the king scolds him for losing his princely privilege, Hal promises to redeem himself on Percy's head and tear the reckoning from his heart. Yikes. Look out, Hotspur. The Prince of Wales is coming for you. But before he makes good on this promise, Hal displays other honourable qualities like honesty, bravery, love, and respect. In Act 3, he saves Falstaff's neck by paying back the money he stole at Gad's Hill. In Act 5, Hal offers to save thousands of lives by taking Hotspur on in a single fight. Gallant much! Then, in the heat of battle, Hal says of his little brother, Prince John, I do respect thee as my soul. A few minutes later, Hal saves the king's life and officially redeems his lost opinion. Thus, Shakespeare characterises Hal as a young man who reclaims honour through genuine acts of goodness. At the play's thrilling climax, Hal keeps his promise and defeats Hotspur fair and square. But does he boast about it? No. Shakespeare has Hal display true chivalry in his soliloquy over Hotspur's corpse. He exclaims, "Fare thee well, great heart. Let my favours hide thy mangled face. Adieu, and take thy praise with thee to heaven." Hal praises his adversary, respectfully covers his bloody face, and wishes him well in the afterlife. Now that's honourable, don't you think? To top it off, Hal then allows Falstaff to share in the honour of killing Hotspur. In the play's denouement, or resolution, Falstaff concocts an elaborate lie that he and Hotspur rose both at an instant and fought a long hour by Shrewsbury clock. Knowing full well that Falstaff is a fraud, Hal agrees to endorse his lie and help him to a reward. So, is Shakespeare saying that it pays to lie? Only if you can live with yourself afterwards. When it comes to honour in King Henry IV, Part 1, we are asked to weigh up different views. Which do you prefer? The romantic ideal of chivalric honour? Honour as a shallow commodity? Or honour earned the hard way through commitment and courage? We hope you enjoyed this Schooling Online production. For more easy lessons, check out our other videos.